pouvait être une prière. Chaque souffle un.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello. We'll wait for a couple of minutes. Let's start. Insert. Hello, Rita. Hello, Rita. One second. We'll get started maybe in 5 minutes. We'll give time for others to join. Thanks for your patience. I'm seeing flows are getting increased. So let's wait for a couple more minutes alone. We'll get started by 9:05 by sharp. Thank you. Okay. Thanks for joining. Good evening, morning, good afternoon. So whoever joined from whichever location. Thanks for joining this day one of session. Hope you are got some benefit from yesterday's demo. So starting from today, we'll be starting our day one classes. And yesterday we seen the small demo on what is Tosca and what is the benefits of automation from that. So day one also will begin from the same. So I'll be continuing the classes from where we left. Okay. Hope I'm audible and clear. If I'm not, please
Yes.
let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'll bring up my screen. Kindly confirm that also. Hope you're able to see. Okay. Hope the screen is visible, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Srikanth. Fine. So the first thing what I want to say is this is one of the Google Forms which I'm specifically created for this session. Okay. So you may be having some doubts post completing this today's session, or else when you're working on your own, right? When you're practicing sessions, or else after the hours, or whatever it may be, right? So what is the purpose of this form is you can reach out to me, but sometimes we may need some additional information, right? So this form will be used for your questions on this session. Okay. So fill out these forms to get the assistance on those current questions. Okay. Log in with your email, and this form will be accessible. I'll send out this form in this chat, and maybe I'll ask the admin team to share it to your WhatsApp groups also, or else maybe after this call, I'll send out from my own. You need to fill out the names, contact number, and just specify the topic which you're actually trying to work. Maybe setting up the Tosca licensing issue, or else uh, whatnot. Maybe you can be working on test case design or test case, and you may be facing some particular issue on particular area, right? So mention that area. It is just an text entry field. You can write whatever in your own terms. Okay, no worries. It's just for my understanding, and describe your issue here. Okay, try to be like 2 or 3 lines, maybe what you're trying to do and what what you're expecting to do. Okay, so and attach some screenshots like test step from your Tosca and related modules and properties of it and the error log. Okay, these 4 will be helpful for me to debug. And the last thing is what you actually tried to, for example, you how this class should be going. Like in my point of view, what I'm saying is the more you involve, the more you think to solve the issues. So it will be easy for you to understand and learn also. Right. So when you struck on some part and you immediately seek for help means that will be become a habitual practice. So what is my intention is when you get into some issue, try to do some workaround or try to do the fix from your end. And if it is not working, even if you can't able to try also, that is fine, not a problem. But before that, if you tried and if it is not working means try to explain that also here, what you did kind of. Okay. So it will help me to, and once you submit, it will come to me. I'll just analyze and respond to you as soon as possible. Okay. So this is the form which I created for the session, especially. Okay. With either I will share or I will ask admin team to share to you guys. Okay. So make use of this. The intention of this form is you don't want to hesitate to bringing up your questions. Okay. Because this group is having the mixed of peoples. Many will be uh, may not be knowing Tosca, or some will be having knowledge on Tosca, right? So don't have any hesitation to ask your questions, raise your questions. Okay. So for that, this forms will be easy for you to convey your ideas, or you can ask your questions without any hesitation. Okay, that's the intention of this form. Hope you are clear. And okay, I'll switch back to the today's session. What we are going to cover. So welcome back to the day one. So what we are going to cover on this day one is actually we did introduction on Tosca and architecture, benefits, use cases, and all which we benefits and use cases which I explained on yesterday's demos class itself. So I don't want to take it again and make bored of you, or else I don't want to waste your time. So I'll skip those two things. And the day two session, it's around installation of Tosca, creating workspace and folder structure. This part I will take it on Friday. Okay, so there's a small change. It's not a change, it's just a shuffling. Okay, I'll be moving this setup things to the final day of the session because it will be easy for you to understand at the time. So today we shall see the module creation scanning. Okay, that is the most needed part of Tosca. Okay, so licensing setup and all we'll do it on Friday. So before Friday, I'll be completing set of use cases. So on Friday, I will say about how to install and how to get license and all. So over your weekend, you can try to recreate whatever we are doing it on this particular Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, so these 3 days we will be completing one of the workflow. We'll be creating a set of test cases in Tosca. I will share subsets also. You can import it. I'll teach everything on how to do that and all. You can try to recreate the same thing. And if you got stuck on somewhere, every time you can use the forms, or else on the next day classes, or else after the end of the session, you can reach out to me and clear it out. Okay. Fine. So now we are going to see the module creation and scanning. Okay. So before going to that, yesterday we covered few benefits of Tosca, right? So let me go to that. Okay. See, yesterday we covered like what's the benefits of Tosca. It is a multi-featured one tool. It's starting from reporting, execution, and designing, code repository. Everything will be handled in the same tool, and no scripting required. This is the first and foremost. Maybe this is the most important for you to keep it in your mind. What is Tosca? Tosca is nothing but the automation tool where no coding is involved. Okay, coding can be used like SQL queries and all. We can use VB scripts, those and all advanced part to achieve some the high complex use cases. We can use VB scriptings also. That and all we'll try to cover on the advanced sessions if on the future classes maybe. But to do the normal automation, not even normal, to even for the complex ones, you no need to worry about any coding. You no need to have any coding knowledge, or you no need to be from the testing background, or else the automation background, or else from the support background. Nothing is required. Okay. And it covers most of the testing methodology, and it supports multiple technologies, and it is as it is a paid tool, we have quality vendor support. And in continuation of that, additional benefits of Tosca are it is an easy to use interface. See, if you see Tosca, see it will be having the interface. This is the Tosca interface. So if you see, we can have test cases here. This is Scratchbook, which is nothing but where we will execute and see the results. And module is a collection of place where we will be collecting the buttons or links or properties and stored in the form of module attributes, requirements. It's basically a easy to use interface. There is no any complexity on that part. We can arrange however we want. Even if you want to take this out and you want to enhance the screen size, means you can do that. So it will allow you to, it gives you easy interface to for you to work without any complications. And second thing is it's reasonably priced. This pricing factor, it's highly dynamic in nature, which means they are putting the price based on the whether it is installed on premises, or else if it is for cloud license, or else if your team size is 1 to 5 or 10 to 15, or else 100 plus license, means the based on how much you use, they are charging on that part. And additionally, if you want to use some additional features like Tosca copilots, they recently launched for AI, and some things are like mobile automations are there. So that and all, if you need to cover, means you need to pay additional pricing for different set of licenses. So licensing is completely depend on what you need and how much you need. Okay, it is not like a you need to pay hefty amount of price, and you need to whether you're using it or not, you should pay the Tosca. It's not like that. And Tosca is having regular updates. For in a year, they'll be releasing at least 4 versions, and they'll be keep on monitoring what is the issues occurring because of the recent versions. For instance, recently Tosca went into one of the issue for one particular version. I was using 24.1.2. Okay. So this is nothing but the version is 2024.1.2. This is the version which I was using during the June kind of. Okay. So what happened is at the time, Salesforce, I was working in Salesforce application, which is called Salesforce will be having 4 different releases per year, like winter, autumn, summer releases and all. So at the time, a summer release came into picture. Because of the summer release, Tosca couldn't able to access the SFTC applications, which means Salesforce application itself. And that issue is happening only for this particular version. It is not happening for the previous version, and it's not happening for the greater versions. I mean, higher versions from this. We reported to Tosca, and they immediately gave the patch for this particular version. And that patch was having some issue. So what we went is we went to higher version, and currently we're using 1.9, 2024.1.9 in our project. So as because of quality vendor support, if you went into any issues, Tosca team will be there to help you. Okay, so that is what is mean about regular updates. And initial version of Tosca I seen, and current version of Tosca also we are seeing. And for this session, we are using Tosca version called 2025.1. I will show it to you. Okay, so this is the Tosca version which are using 2025.1.1. This is the latest one. Okay, so this is having many bugs are not there, and as it is an application, right, it will be having few of the bugs, but because of the regular updates, Tosca is keep on evolving from the beginning. And when compared to the market and other automation tools, Tosca will be providing the quick results as in terms of automation itself. If you want to start an automation, you don't need to have anything like jar files or plugins, or some framework should be readily available. Nothing like that. As you seen yesterday, we went and created login logout scenario as simple as it is, right? Similarly, you can just ready to start your automation. That's how the Tosca has been developed, and it's suitable for large scale operations. Like in one of my project, we used to run 800 scripts per week, which means it is going to have nearly 10,000 steps for sure. 800 scripts daily, we will be running 100 scripts in our Dex machines, in our Jenkins actually, and we will be analyzing all those reports, because that much. That is basically for the insurance project. We need to automate 5 different applications, and data will be flowing from one end to another end. So Tosca is supporting large scale operation very much easily. And when compared to the its competitor, that is Selenium, Tricentis is a license and paid tool. Selenium is an open source. Tricentis is a codeless automation. Selenium is the code based. And Tricentis Tosca will support all types of applications, web, desktop, and mobile. Selenium will support only web applications. And Tosca is having dedicated support team, and it's only the community support is available. And Tosca, it has an inbuilt repository and object repository, but Selenium, you can't do that. You need to go for a plugin to store your objects and all. And it is following the model-based test approach, but not our Selenium. It is going based on the script-based automation. And other than that, Tosca will support API, load testing, and also the mobile automation, as I said earlier, but Selenium won't. So this is the major comparison between Tosca and Selenium. That's why many of the larger organizations now they are switching to Tosca. And one of the main advantages to do Selenium automation, you need to be a Selenium automation tester. You need to know about Selenium, you need to know about Java or Python, and you need to know about the required jar files, and you need to know about the page object model or data-driven models and all. So that nothing is required for you to work on Tosca. Understanding Tosca is enough, and if you know about the application, that will be the added advantage. Application sense, I'm saying about the target applications. It can be SAP or else, Salesforce or else the mainframe or else what are the target application? If you know that workflow, what you're going to automate, that will be the added advantage. So these are the benefits. And similarly, we have few of the disadvantages also, which I want to cover at this part of time. Tosca, at this point of time, it is not compatible with the Mac or Linux operating systems. It is primarily focused on Windows-based applications, which means you can install Tosca only on Windows machines, not on Mac and not on Linux. Okay, so make sure that you are using Windows machine to install Tosca for your training purpose. Okay, and other thing is Tosca store elements in the form of modules, which is similar to page objects. However, these modules are more difficult to use than the page objects, which means, as you see here, this is one of the element, right? This is a text entry field, email. It is stored in the form of model attribute, right? Here, there is a limitation. You can't go and change many of these things because Tosca is converting. I'll go to the, yeah. So if we go to this field, so this is the email field. If you give lm inspect, and this is the technical details of this particular object, right? Email field, right? Tosca is converting all these values in the form of what? Modules. But we can't be reusing it. We can't be altering it as however we wish. There's a set of things which we can able to modify, but there's a limitations on that part. Okay, so that's what we are trying to say here. And here it's a noun first keyword. And what will happen is basically if there's any typo errors are there between your, I hope you know about passing the values within the test execution. For example, if you don't know, also not a problem, I will explain. What I mean to say is if you assign a value, I'll take an example. If imagine like this is an test data 1, and for that if you assign the value as value A, and if you want to reuse, what you need to do is you need to call out the same name. It is similar to all over whatever, it can be development, it can be the automation, wherever it is called as variable name basically. So what names you are given, the same should be there. So even the space and the typos, uppercase, smaller case is going to give you issues during the Tosca, execution. So that's what it talks about. And here one of the disadvantages, we will be going into a lot of clickings. So it's good to have a mouse because within the laptop, or else if you are using the desktop, you will be requiring to have a separate mouse to handle the Tosca, because we will be navigating to multiple areas. We will be dragging and dropping, and we will be scrolling up and down. So lot of click action will be there. So some people are complaining about that, but there is, when compared to sitting and writing the code, it is far more better. Okay. And Tosca tool does not support for Git version control within it, but it is as repository. You can attach your GitHub modifications. What means this is one of your module, right? One of your button or as the input field, right? As it is not having the inbuilt Git, you can't have the version control over here. You can't lock this, or else you can't revert it back to the previous version. Those limitations are there, but you can still copy this and move it to your Git repository by interlinking Git to the Tosca. Whenever you need, you can copy from there and do it, but it will be like manual process. So that will be the one of the disadvantage. And Tosca tool is only for commercial use. Yes, it is. Even for your training purpose, you will be getting only the limited number of days for usage. So that these are the disadvantages which I'm seeing. Why I'm saying all these things means maybe it will be required for you to, when you are if someone comes and asks what is the benefits of Tosca, or is what it's compared between Selenium and Tosca, and what is the disadvantage of Tosca means, you guys need to be aware on that part, right? So that's the main reason of it. And let's jump to the today's lesson. Okay. Yesterday, what we covered on creating a couple of test cases, right? Test steps, login and logout. So main part of this is modules, right? And I shown you yesterday how this module has been created. But in Tosca, what is the modules means? Modules are nothing but this is a heart of Tosca test design. Basically, we are converting any of these fields. It can be a password, or it can be this particular link, or this particular checkbox. Any of these fields, it's getting converted into form of modules and stored in Tosca. Okay, this is a heart of your execution. If this is not scanned properly, your test case will be failed. I'll show a quick demo. Okay, this one, let's try to execute and see. I'll close other areas for your clarification. Okay, so majorly we'll be focusing on test case, modules, and scratch code as of now. So now, yesterday we created login and logout, right? Now let's try to run this one and see the failure, because I'm expecting a failure here. Let's see. It should go and click on the login button, and it should populate email ID and password and click on login button again to get signed in, but it will fail. I haven't done any changes. Let's see. Okay, see, as I said, it got failed. See, it is saying like no matching tab was found. Right? If you see, no matching tab was found. But what does it mean? Maybe let me retry. See what we need to do. Here we need to click it here, and it should populate the email and password and login, right? That's all. So let me try running it again. We'll see what's happening. It will work this time. Okay, see, it went, it clicked login. Now it populated and selected the login button also. and logout is also happening. Yeah. At the bottom progress bar, you're seeing the green, right? It got passed. But how come? I never did anything. Both are same scripts, but it is getting passed. But it was getting failed before, right? Because the difference here is, if you see this particular module at the bottom, the title was playing the major role. I'll show you the difference. See here, demo web shop, right? This is a page which we are trying to access before. I'll try to run it again. So with the error log, you can able to understand why that failure occurred. It will take 20 seconds to fail, but we'll see. What Tosca is doing is it want to click this button. Okay, login. Execution is running, but I'm interrupting it anyway. What is happening is Tosca is trying to take the page name first, right? So if you see here, no matching tab was found with the following properties. First, it will go and check for the title, demo webshop.login. But if you see the title, it is only demo webshop. But if I click here login, title will get changed to .login. That is the reason in this page, our script is working fine, but not on the home page. How these things are happening? Only because of modules. Like when we scanned yesterday, this title was having the login and the logout was not having it. So that's why when you scan, those things are very important to take care. How to do that? Let me show to you. So again, we'll try to scan this element itself, or else I'll go inside. Okay. Now, if you see the web page name is demo-webshop.login, and this one I need to scan it again, right? Let me go. I'll give scan. Starting the xscan. That's what we used to say. And now it will show the list of opened applications. I want to use, yeah, this Chrome browser. Oh, sorry, Edge browser, and give scan. It will correct the properties and show as form of module attributes to me. Okay, so now this particular element. See, this one I need, and given highlight, it is there. So when I choose this checkbox, right, I'll expand the section. Okay, so when I give this checkbox, I'll make sure to check these properties at tab. That is the first and foremost step. Okay, why? Because means, see, this element is driven by these properties. It is having this particular class name. It is having this particular tag, and this is not having any IDs, and it is having inner text as login, and this is the HTML tag, and this is the tag of it, and title it don't have, and inner text, and these are the XPath. And similarly, this is visible and true. So these are the properties. The element can be found based on 4 different types. Either it can be found based on properties, or else anchor, or image, or index. These are the first and foremost lesson for you to learn in Tosca. If you master handling these properties, how to scan and what to pick and what to concentrate on Tosca means, I mean, in modules, you can play around with your test design, because as you know, we scanned login, logout only one time, right? But we can make n number of changes in the test design. We can pass different values. We can either click or log in, log out. We can create n number of test cases by using the same modules, right? So to create n number of test cases, your module should be having the right properties. Okay, so identify property is one of the method, and identify anchor is one more method, and identify image is one more method, and identify index is one more method. What is mean by method here, Tam? In Tosca, what you mean to ask means we need to identify this particular element. It should be unique in nature. If you see at the bottom, selected item is unique, means I'm selecting this, right? So I'm using the filter, okay? So it will help you to see the things. So I given a zero filter now. So whatever I choose, it's going to display here. So you won't get any deviations. So for this particular login button, it is showing like selected item is unique. If I go and uncheck this one, see selected item is not unique. What it is mean is when without that right properties, it won't be unique. If it is not unique, Tosca can't able to execute it during the runtime. I'll stop for 30 seconds probably. If you have any questions around this area, feel free to ask. We'll clear now itself. Okay. I take it as a no, but I'll explain it again. Modules are the one. What is happening is we are converting the buttons, the tables, or what are the properties, elements from the UI from application to the Tosca module. Okay. To convert it, you need to have right properties. So identify the properties, one of the method to make it unique. Okay. So if you see here, selected item is not unique. That's what is getting displayed, right? So when I go and choose right properties, see, in here, there will be three types of properties. Okay. One is representation property, which means how it is getting displayed on the UI, whether it is visible or not, it is true, and it's in what URL is coming, and what priority, what label, and steerable or not. So these are representation properties. Okay. Don't prefer it. Straightforward. Don't prefer it. Okay. For normal applications, don't prefer it. What is mean by normal applications? For SAP and for Salesforce, we'll be choosing one or two properties from representation. For example, associated label we'll choose, and API key will be there. That we will choose for Salesforce and all. Which means an associated label is nothing but this. We have it is called as login, right? If you see outside of the application, it is called as login, right? This is called label. So labeling they will be having. So those associated label will use, and there will be one more called API key that also will use. Okay. So those representation we'll be using for Salesforce and SAP applications, not for the other applications. So don't stick with the representation for the generic web UI elements. Okay. What you need to mostly prefer is this technical elements. Okay. So if you see in representation, I never choose anything. Okay. Let me close it. And my preference is not with the XPath also. XPath also I won't. So ignore that also. What you need to stick is it's better that you stick with the technical properties. Okay. So what to choose from the technical? You should be choosing the static values. What is static? What is dynamics? Static is nothing but it will be constant. It won't get changed. Dynamic something which will be keep on changing. For example, this is an inner text I'm choosing. Okay. If I choose inner text, what is the value of inner text here? It is login, right? You can able to see it. It's login. It is static. It is similar to the one which is there in the UI also. But if it is having login 1 or login 1, 2, 3, or else it's a login A, and next time it will be changed to login B, and next time it will get changed to 2, 3, 4, 5, or some kind of alphanumeric symbols, means you should not be preferring it. The intention is you should be choosing the static values. See, the moment I choose an inner text, it got updated to selected item as unique. Right? See, even without tag also it will be unique, I believe. Yeah, it is believe because Tosca don't need too many properties, and Tosca goes in a and logic. If you choose everything in a text, in a text, login, tag, what will happen is how Tosca will work is here what and all we choose the class name, right? So it will be like class name, and it will go like and it will go. What is the next tag we choose? We choose inner text, and it will go with and what we choose, it will be like outer text, and next it will be like and it will go with the tag. So what I mean to say and property means to find your element, Tosca should be having all these 4 values, whatever you choose should be the same. So it is not or, it is not like it's not as class or inner text, not like that. Okay. So class or it is not like that. So how Tosca basically works is it's based on and. So when you choose too many properties, all the properties should be having the same value, whatever you chosen during the scan, during the runtime. If any one got changed, it means your script is going to get failed. So it's good that you're not choosing too many values. Okay, so I don't want class name and I don't want outer text also, because both inner text and outer text are same. So I'm going to stick with tag and inner text alone. That's all. That is very good enough for me. Okay, and as it is unique, I'm giving save and giving close. Okay, so now this is the thing which we scanned, right? Let me go and drop it in my test case. Let me give click. Okay, so if I execute this one, it will go and click. It's scanned from this page only, right? So it will go and click. Let's see. Yeah, as you see, it went and then clicked and the execution got passed. Right? I want to make it to fail. This is the one which we faced on the first step during the today's class. So let me execute it again. I haven't done anything. I'm going to execute, but my page got changed. If you see, it is not having .login now. So our script will fail after checking for it. So it will say like there is no tab is found. Okay, see, it got failed. Now only we went and scanned, right? We go to jump to step. This is the one which we scanned, right? Which we created, and this is the one we scanned, right? It was working fine on previous page, it's not working on this page. And the error log says like title. We never chosen any of the title like that, right? How it comes is Tosca will choose default properties few of the things. So if you come and see here, it will be having title. Because when we scanned this particular login button, the page was having this particular title. So Tosca taken this and stored it form of title property. we selected properties for this button. What we chose inner text and tag, right? Only these two we selected. Engine and association, type, action mode, these and all Tosca will update automatically. Only these two we chosen. But for this module, Tosca chosen it based on the title which your tab is having. Because of this reason, it is getting failed. It's working on one page, not on another page. So how to handle this? Very simple. You can go and delete it and put a while character. This ** or star or while character, what will happen is it will ignore whatever the characters are coming after that. It means after shop, whatever it can be having login, or it can be having logged out or its username. It is not going to bother. Right? I went and updated this, right? So let me go and run this one. It will work here. Taking time. Yeah, it went and clicked. And let's jump back to the home page where it is not having the login, and let's execute here also. Here we are facing issue, right? If previously, now it won't, because the reason is previously it is searching for the tab name which is having .login. Now we removed that and given asterisk. See, it worked successfully. See, these are the main things which you need to see during your module scanning. Right? I'll show the difference. See, before, this is the login button which we created yesterday, module which we created yesterday, and it is having title as .login. And this is the one which we developed today, and I updated it to asterisks. This will work on both the pages. Either it is on .login page, or else if I go to the home page where the naming is different, it will work on both. Right? Hope you understood, right? Anyone having any questions on what are you got now? Okay, I take it as a no. Let's go back to the slide. So on components of Tosca, we have four major things. One is Tosca commander, executor, repository, scan. So what we are doing is we are working on a UI, right? That is what the commander basically. See, this is the Tosca commander. It will help you to create test cases, create modules, and execute it. And even you'll be having execution list issues, reportings. So this particular UI is there, right? That is what called Tosca commander. And next one is Tosca executor, which means nothing but where you are executing your computer scripts, right? That is working based on the executor. Without the executor, Scratchbook also will get difficulties to run. And third one is repository, which means where the data will go and store. It is basically the server. And fourth one is Tosca scan. How we are converting our properties into the form of modules. That is also because of scan. Okay, these are the four major components of Tosca. Okay, so commander, executor, repository, and scan. Commander is the one where you will have all the activities from creation to design to the execution. Executor is the one which supports your execution. Repository is the one which will store your information. Scan is the one which will help you to scan the application and store in the form of modules. Okay, and in Tosca commander, you will be having multiple sections, which means, see here, these are this is the one section, right? And what color it is yellow, and what color it is orange, what it is green. So similarly, we'll be having module sections are called as orange section, where it will allow you to create modules, test case sections are called as blue section. It's given as a blue color. You can see it here, test cases, where you design your test cases. And test case designs section is nothing but the red section. I'll go to, yeah, see, this is a kind of a dark red maybe, but the red one, it's what test case design, where you'll be having the data of your test cases. And execution is for green section. See, here's the execution, the green section. You can add it like this. So it will come as an integer element also. What I did is, I right clicked and give this plus icon, which is but nothing but open a new window. So requirements for yellow section, which we see now, and reporting. Where is reporting? Yeah, here's the reporting, which will help you to configure your reporting structure. Okay, and few more are there. Configuration issues, test planning, test data management, and all. Like if you go here, configurations, test data integrity, which is newly added, and issues and test plannings and all coming into picture, right? So these are the different sections of inside Tosca Commander. Okay, but predominantly we'll be working on few areas, that is test case, modules, execution, scratch code. That's all. Okay, hope you are clear. And how to do Tosca scan. That is the first step, what we did on yesterday and today. So identifying properties via XScan is the first and foremost main part. And as I said before, identify the controls is done by 4 different ways: properties, anchor, index, and image. Okay. Today we seen about properties, right? We'll see about anchor, index, and image on further classes. It will be very easy. Don't worry. I don't want to rush and cover all these things in a single class and make you to put into confusions or don't want to miss out anything basically. Okay, that is the main reason. So today we covered properties, right? Maybe I'll repeat it once again. I'll do one more rescan and show to you for the maybe different button. Okay, anchor, index, image, and all. We'll cover it on the next classes. Okay, so now this is a demo which I plan to create something on by using the properties or different element. Let me do that again for a different object. Okay, now what we shall do, let me let me log in first. Okay, so we are logged in. Let's navigate to certain section. Yeah, see if you see here, let's try to scan for this add to cart. Add to cart button is there for 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 objects are there. 6 different monitors are there. 800, 1200, 8800, 500, 1350, 800, right? So different objects are there, different items are there, but only 4 add to cart is there, right? So let's see, let's try to scan this one. Okay, I will delete this one because it is not required now. To delete and all, very simple, you can give the keyboard delete. Okay, now let me go and scan. So how to do scan? Come to your folder, right click and click on scan. Not click, just hover on scan and choose application. That's all. So it will show the pop-up where you will be having your opened application, whichever you want to scan. So now what we are aiming to scan this particular add to cart, right? So there is 2 ways to do. One is if you give, see, there is 2 types of identification. One is advanced, where it will list out everything, or is basic. What it will happen is in the basic, you can just hover over your application and choose your element. See, it is saying like click on controls in your application to add them. Right. So let me go and click on this add to cart. Okay, I clicked, but it is saying like, okay, one item is not unique. Basically, if you see, selected item is not unique. Why it is like that? Let's see. Okay, so this is the item I want to. I selected from the UI. Let me highlight and see. If I do, see, this is the item I selected, but it is showing like it is not unique. Why it means? Because how the developers will develop the application is they'll be calling the same button, which is under the same class for the different objects. As it is having 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons on the same page, which is duplicate, right? Because of duplicates only, it is showing that it is not unique. So what we need to do? We need to choose the right properties for it, right? So let's see what and all is there. In representation, I don't prefer, so I'm not going for it. So I'm checking for any other. So will the class name is static one, button two, they said, and what is by default is selected tag, and by default it is selected value as add to cart, type is there, but still even choosing the type is not helping. Let me try to choose class name. Even choosing class name, it is not working. Why? Because means, as I said before, under the same class name only, they could have, it's not like they could have, that's how they built. Under the same class name, they have all 4 buttons. They'll be calling out the class name. So how to make it as unique? We need to go with the different types of properties now, anchor, image, or index. So let me go with the index as of now. So what is meant by index? As the name says, we are giving the priority and how, in what position it has been placed. This is the first position, right? Position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. So when I see how to do is, let me go to here. This is the identify properties. This is what you're having. As it is not unique and you don't have any right properties to go and choose, right? You can go click here and choose index. Okay, and choose index. So it will come. So it is saying like index 1 of 4. See, the moment I selected this button, just check box, it turned into unique, which means Tosca is saying like it is the first element of available 4 options. It is 1 out of 4. So as I selected this, now Tosca is saying this particular element is unique. Now Tosca can able to navigate and steer it without any issues. So I saved it, and this is the element, right? Let's see. This is, we need to rename it. That's a good practice. What is that? It's a desktop. Okay. Okay. It was having the different name. The name was demo web shop.desktop, and I'm removing it and keeping it as only desktop because this button is coming under the desktop page only, right? So I went and kept this one. And what's the properties we used? Tag and value we used. And this is the constraint index, which means we went for additional support of finding it via index, right? This is what it is. And if you see title, it is having demo webshop.desktop. So we should not be having this. So go ahead and rename this one. Okay. So now drag and drop your test case and rename your test case. What you can choose is select desktop 01 because we are going to choose not even a select. Okay, or say select and add desktop 01 to cart. Okay, this will be our test case, desktop name. So if I give click, this function, what it will happen is it will go and click the first add to cart button. Let's see. Okay, see, it scrolled down automatically and it added to the cart. Okay, test case shows it successfully clicked, and our application also showing it is added to cart. Add to cart has been clicked basically, right? Hope you understood how the index and properties are working and how important the selecting the right properties will help you to navigate, steer your test cases. Any questions on this point? We completed our today's session. Yeah, go ahead, Ravi.
Yeah, like since we have added elements, right, for the login and user ID password, right? Like where we are going to store, like I wanted to use the same set of since it is where we are storing the objects. Is there any
you want to know like where you'll be saving this particular values? That's what your question is.
Yeah, like not that input, not for the input what we are giving, whatever the elements we have been saved, right? Like the login, email, password, and all, right?
This buttons you're asking.
Yeah, this data, where it is going to where the data is going to store.
Everything will be stored in the Tosca itself.
Okay. So do we have any repository?
See, currently we are working in a local workspace. See, if you see at the top, it's C drive under the Tosca projects and Tosca workspace. I'll open my C drive and show maybe. Okay, see, this is the Tosca projects. Inside Tosca workspace, whatever we are creating, right? So this is the particular project which we created. Inside that only all the things are getting and coming and saved here basically. Right? As it is a local workspace, the elements are stored on my local. But if we integrate our Tosca with the servers, okay, it can be SQL server or some other servers, all the data, whatever you're working, right, it will be stored in servers also. I'll cover about those setups on the Friday class.
Okay.
But it is possible. It is at present, to answer your question, it is stored in our local within the Tosca C drive, basically in C drive. But if you establish a connection between Tosca and some servers where it should go and save, means it's similarly like working on a OneDrive. You can work anywhere on your from the world, and the data will be went and stored in that particular server.
Yeah, and one more thing, we have scanned the element and we have added the elements and we have run the script, right? And the thing is, like from the browser, like how we can able to say, for example, I wanted to execute the same set of application. You might be executing in Chrome, same Chrome only. Like I wanted to launch the browser from there. I wanted to log in. So how should we do?
Yeah, I'll cover all those things on the test case class. Currently, we are focusing on modules part only because this is the heart of the design itself, right? But I'll answer for a question. Okay, how to do is very basic. As I have opened the what to say Edge browser, it is Tosca is going and executing here. But if I open the Chrome browser, okay, and demo shop, let me close this one. This is an Edge basically. Okay, this is a Chrome browser. Okay, Now let me go and execute this. You need to change this one. Okay. So what is our test case? Let me disable this, else it will throw the error. It will log in and log out. I never change anything. Just Tosca will scan the opened applications, basically the browser I'm talking about. Then it will go and execute it. But we can control it. I'll say you once this execution gets passed. See, it's going and clicking. It passed and login is also done. And logout is also happening. See, we scanned elements on Edge browser, if you remember, and the same thing is working on Chrome browser also. But if you want to control which browser you want to open means, you need to go to test configuration, add a property called as browser. Here you can give the value. Either it will be Chrome, Edge, whatever it is. If you define Chrome, every time it will go and look for the Chrome browser first. If you give Edge, it will be looking for Edge browser. See, now I don't have Edge open, right? No, I don't have Edge open, and my application is opened on Chrome, right? So what will happen is I given browser as Edge. If I try to execute this one, it will fail because we given a TCP saying like execute it in the Edge browser. See, it got failed because there is no any such application from the Edge browser. It got open. Browser could not be found. But if I went and change it to Chrome, the same script will work.
But how, from where we are giving the URL, the demo web shop?
No. Those things are not. See, how the Tosca is working is, it is as simple as it is. Maybe you are letting it with from the beginning, right? Those initial steps we never covered as part of. First, it will go and check the browser and it starts executing directly. As the browser is already opened with this particular application,
Yeah,
right? It is
so yeah, what I mean to say, since you have already opened the browser and you have entered the URL, you have been navigated to the login page. From there, you are executing the test script. So my point is, as you said, irrespective of the browser, it can be Edge or the Chrome browser, it is going to work. That I agree. My point is, since if from not from the login page, I mean to say, from where we are initiating the URL to telling to the Tosca log into the particular browser.
We are not saying anything. No. We are not saying anything. See
Yeah.
here. See, that is a feature of Tosca. Okay. We no need to say anything is very much so clear to it. It can be like starting. See how the applications are built is how the agile application developments will happen is nothing will be ready for you to test actually. I mean, application couldn't have been developed completely right. Tosca will help you to start your testing from the initial stage of the application itself. So for that and all, you no need to worry about what to launch. See, those steps are there. How to do is basically you need to go and say like open URL. So here you need to configure your URL basically. Here you need to give that URL. So if you give that URL, what will happen is Tosca will open a browser, whatever you configured here, and it will launch that URL, and then it will perform those particular steps, login, logout, and all. Right? But as we are not having this, Tosca is directly going and doing it. If this application is not at all there means, Tosca will say like no matching tab was found, basically. So it is an added advantage. See, if you want to test in between of your application means, you can test that part individually and soulfully. You don't need to have any prerequisites, front and back end and all. There's no any dependencies. as you're learning from the basics, right? So I want to go one by one. How the Tosca, first part is how Tosca is working. And then you can think about logics and all, how this is working, what is the good practices, and what will be the first step, what will be the last step, what will be the in-between steps. That and all will cover on the future sessions for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Now my intention is to showcase how the Tosca is behaving and how the first automation is going to occur and what is the required steps for you guys to do. Okay. Anyone have any other questions?
Yes, I have one question because you said in the beginning of this course you have need Windows. I have a Mac because I am developer Mac iOS. You know, is possible the follow your course or not for me?
You can. What I will say is you can install a kind of a Citrix in your Mac or Mac machine. So within the Citrix, you can that Citrix you can configure it as a Windows OS, and inside that you can install your Tosca.
Okay,
but direct installation on Mac OS, Tosca won't support at this point of time.
Okay, but you help me for install Tosca in my Mac for your course or not? Is not possible.
Not directly. We need to have Citrix. Inside that Citrix, we can go for it.
Okay, and Citrix is possible.
Yeah, inside is possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone having any other questions? Okay, so that's all from my end. We'll see the next sessions on the remaining properties and the best practices on modules area tomorrow also. And slowly we'll switch into the test case design sessions and all, test cases and all. And at the end of this week, we will be covering launching the URL and opening it and navigating to application and completing one particular workflow and logging out. Okay. That's all from my end. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.